Hare Krishna. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Hare Krishna. In this world, we come across with people with different natures. We experience different situations in our life. We also experience many uncertainties. We experience ups and downs in our life. So, what we can understand from this is we cannot change the world or change the way the things are going around us. So, we can only work on our consciousness. So that's why Krishna, in many places in Bhagavad Gita, instructs to work upon the consciousness. We see in the case of Pandavas, all through the life, they experienced ups and downs, many uncertainties. Though they were from royal dynasty, they were from the Bharata Vamsha, still they had to face so many difficulties. In one way we can understand that this is actually ordained by Krishna, because he wanted to show the world that how his devotees are completely dependent on him and they are flexible with the situations, because their consciousness is hooked to the eternal spiritual truth, that is Krishna. Because the external world is not under our control, but we can have control over our consciousness. So that's why Krishna answers to Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita 2nd chapter. And Arjuna asks that what are the symptoms of a liberated person? How does he speak? How does he react to any kind of stimuli that comes from the nature, that comes from the external world? What does he speak? What is his consciousness? So he asks that Sita prajnasya ka bhasha samavistasya keshava stitadi kim prabhaseta kimasita vacheta kim. Sita prajnasya means the person who is completely fixed in his consciousness, fixed in terms of the transcendence. He is a liberated person. What is his consciousness? So how does he speak? How does he walk? How does he move? So in that way, Arjuna is asking to Krishna. So Krishna is answering that Dukeshu anudvigna manaha Sukeshu vigata spriha Vitaraga vaya krodha stitadir muniruchyate. So Krishna is telling here Dukeshu means in the times of miseries, sufferings. Dukeshu anudvigna. Anudvigna means he is not agitated, he is not disturbed. Sukeshu vigatas priha. And at the time of happiness, he is not elated too much, or he is not too much interested. Oh, because everything is temporary. So the period of misery is also temporary. It just passes after some time. It will be gone. Similarly, the period of happiness is also temporary in this world. So we see the Pandavas, when they were born, all the 5 brothers, they had already lost his father, and they grew up under the shelter of Dhritarashtra. That was actually a difficult time because they did not get the fatherly care. So when all the Pandavas were grown up, so Dhritarashtra once plans to send them for a trip, and he sends them to a house made of the wax, where Duryodhana had planned to kill them by burning the wax house. But somehow they escaped out of the wax house before they got burnt by the fire. And they were in jungles, they were in the forest. But still, they were not disturbed. So it's very difficult because they were from the royal family, from the royal dynasty, from the kingly family, but still they were leading like a mendicants in forest. 5 brothers and the mother Kunti. Because their consciousness was hooked in the spiritual truth with God. And one fine day when they found Draupadi and they got married and they came back to Astinapur, and then they got their place, that is Indraprastha. And that Indraprastha was a ruined land, but they converted it into a very beautiful place. They built a very wonderful palace. But even at that time, they were not elated by happiness. Oh, now this is the time that we are all very happy. But they worked for future. They did all the yajnas and sacrifices for the benefit of all the subordinates, all the citizens of the kingdom. So like this we see in many upheavals, maybe downs or ups in their life. So in up and downs in their lives, they were maintaining their consciousness. Even after that, when they had to go for exile for 20 years, but still in the exile, they were all dependent on Krishna. That is how we see that they were neither elated from the happiness nor agitated by the miseries. And further, Krishna mentions Vita Raga Bhaya Krodha Stitadi Muni Uchyate. Vita means to be free from. Vita Raga Bhaya Krodha. Raga means attachment, excessive attachment for place, for things, for position, for people. So all this, the excessive attachment actually causes anxiety and suffering. Anxiety because of fear of losing things, and then when we lose the things, then we suffer. So that's why Krishna is mentioning here Vita Raga Bhaya Krodha. He is free from Vita, means he is free from attachment, then Raga, then Bhaya, then fear, then Krodha means anger. Then he is called Muni. Sitadin Muni Ruchyate. Muni means one who is fixed in mind, stable in mind. He is always accepting all the situations in same level. So whole Bhagavad Gita teaches us that instead of being affected by the results, we should be more interested in performing our activity or work. So that's why Krishna mentions in 5th chapter that Na prashriyet priyam prapya no dvijet prapya cha priyam stira buddhi rasam modo brahma vid brahmani stitaha. So he is brahmani stitaha means he is fixed in consciousness to the God. He is a liberated person. His consciousness is na prashriyet priyam prapya. When he achieves which is very desirable for him, he never becomes too much elated. No dvijet prapya cha apriyam. Apriyam means which is not very much desirable for him. When it comes on its own accord, he never becomes disturbed. Sometimes it happens in our life that we don't desire something, but it comes in our life. If we get disturbed to that, then we are succumbing to that thinking, then we become lower to that. Actually, the spirit soul is highest of everything in this material world. The spirit soul can never be subordinate to any situation in this world. So, Sthira Buddhir Asammodo, then he can be fixed in his consciousness. Sthira Buddhir Asammodo. Asammodo means he never be bewildered. So that person is in liberated consciousness. I had heard that one person in one of the IITs, he had got consecutive first rank position in exams, and after 3 years when he got second rank, he felt so much of insecurity that he committed suicide. So this means that he could not take the second one, that is nodvijit prapya cha apriyam, means when there is undesirable things coming to us, we are not able to accept it in our life, because our consciousness is wavering for the material things of this world. When the consciousness is fixed for the Supreme, then the material things will keep changing, then our mind is not disturbed. So we will accept both the favorable, the desirable and the undesirable things in the same way. So that is the higher consciousness. So the best way to work upon our consciousness is to search for a divine association and associate with the saintly people. Because when we see the life of a saintly person, our consciousness will immediately be transformed, and the inspiration is derived by their dealings and by their perspective of life. So the regular association with the saintly people can affect our consciousness. This is a very best way to have our consciousness transformed into spiritual. Hare Krishna. Thank you.